Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on enhance your Yeeflow forms with dynamic content layouts for more powerful sublists. I'm Ranger, and I'm excited to have you here today. Welcome to our webinar on enhance your Yeeflow forms with dynamic content layouts. Whether you're a seasoned Yeeflow user or just started out, this session will provide valuable insights to help you optimize your forms and streamline your workflows. Before we dive in, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what we are going to cover today. Firstly, a brief refresher on what Yeeflow forms are and how they can be used in your business process. And understand what they are, where they matter, and how they different from static layouts. And third, a step-by-step guideline on creating a dynamic, more powerful sublist using dynamic content layouts. We will walk through an example together so you can see the process in action. I will answer any questions you have by the end of this webinar. All right, so today our focus is on empowering you to make your Yeeflow forms more interactive and effective. The traditional sublist in forms can be limited when it comes to dynamic data representation. With dynamic content layouts, however, you can tailor your sublist to display information in a way that meets your unique needs. This will making the data entry and review much more intuitive. Then let me share my screen to learn what this dynamic content and where can we find it and how to use it on the form designer. All right. So here you can say this I'm currently in a form designer, which is an approval form. So this is a sales agreement approval form with multiple fields. And there are actually two sublists control here, the product and service details and also the payment schedule, those two. So this is the traditional layout. So you can see each field is included in each column right now, okay? If you select this control and go back to, say, the property settings panel, from the list content, this way, we have the option called layouts. So you can say we have a drop down where you can change. By default, it's responsive, which means it will be a table kind of layout by default on the PC and tablet. And if you're using the mobile, it will be a card view. So, but you can actually say, I want it to be fixed as table view, either, ignore the device type. Okay, or maybe just a card view. So, depends. In recent release, we actually include a new one, as you can see at the bottom, which called the dynamic content layout. So we introduced this one is kind of helping to, we have some of the feedback from customers say maybe they have more flexible layouts requirements. For example, maybe they want to have some fields in the list to be included in maybe just one column and you know, multiple fields in one column, or have a more flexible about the layout design. So with the dynamic content, this layout, you can actually do such things. To use the dynamic content, you can just click dynamic content options here. Yeah, it will pop up, actually will pop up a window to say, if you are going to use the dynamic content, maybe if you switch to this model, there are some of the layout and style settings for the traditional sublist layouts may be changed, and may be lost for some special style settings. Okay, so be sure to aware about this. If you say it's okay, we can just click OK button. Then you can say the layout is changed. So it's kind of like a default card view. From here, you can say each field is, one field is one row, one column, one line. All right. So this is item one, item two, and item three. Okay, we by default have three part. And there's no header on the table, no header here. But instead you can have each the title for the field from the left, and at the bottom we have the amount, which will, if you want, this is kind of the summary. Okay, so basically it have separate of the row item and a footer at the bottom. Okay, to use this, if you say, but now if you select sublist, it will be sublist control. But if you select each field inside, you can say the property panel changed to the selected control inside. So for example, we have multiple fields. The first one, maybe the item name. Then it's kind of a simple line, single line. So with this way, you can actually set any property from the left panel for each of the selected fields. For example, for the item field, this one, you can change the name. I change the title here, maybe item, maybe item title. You can change the style for each of fields. Let's say maybe have a solid border. Okay, with maybe a green color for the border, and so on. So you can do the same thing for each of the other controls here. And another, the most powerful function beside this is you can actually drag to change the place, which is similar like a collection. And you can also add some other control inside. Maybe I want to add a container, and then I can drag let's say a grid. Okay, maybe I want this grid to be maybe 2 columns. So for example, for the first one is let's try this. Okay, item title, and the second one would be items description, and third one and the pricing. We can keep the rest two fields. It's just one single line here, single row. Okay, So you can hide the capital. All right. So yeah, basically you can change the layout as you need. For example, this one, we can have the maybe a background to be changed to, I don't know, maybe, yeah, the blank color. And have the title color. Let's say this can be white. And even for the value, it's white. All right. And give it some of the border. Maybe pending with maybe 4 pendings. Oh, sorry, no, this one. This one. It should be this one. Calculation. Have maybe 4 pennies. Yep. All right. So yeah, this one. Okay, by default, it do not have the buttons to add items. What you need to do is you can add a button to be and or any other operations to the footer of this sublist. It have the same, flexible. For example, if I maybe drag a container inside and have a button inside and a mount inside in the container, and have a container to be displayed as horizontal, so that we can have the button. Let's see if we can create a new item button. This one with the in color and text is red. All right. No borders. And we can change the name to add item. All right. Then what you can do is you can create an action and bound to this button to trigger the add item action. All right. So to do so, we select this sublist control. You can see we have a new feature which called list action. Okay, from here you can create a new action for this sublist. All right, if you do so, you can see there are 2 groups specific for this sublist object. For one is about current list. We have a new item, import items, and also there are some of for the current object, which kind of about the current row of items. For example, duplicate an existing item, or delete the current item, or maybe update the fields of the current maybe the current row of item. So to add a new allow for user to add new items, you can just let's say using this one, add new item. Okay, we can change the action name, rename, add new item. Okay, so the position is will be defined where you add the new item at the bottom or and at the beginning. Okay, so by default we can have the item to be added at the end. You can also choose to set some default value if you need it. Leave it blank for now. Okay, so then we have this list action. we can go back to select this new item action, add item action to bound the action to, you need to choose this action and this one, add new item. Okay, let's do a preview. Okay, this time, if I add a new item, here you can say a new item for sublist with the new dynamic content layout will shows up, right? If you want, you can maybe also need to add I don't know, maybe a button, another button for deleting item, a new button to be, let's say, maybe at the top and align with right. And we can add an icon called, maybe, let's try this one. All right, so type in the name as delete. Okay, maybe the color could be red. Sorry, yeah, this one. All right, so background, maybe light, right? Yeah. And also we need to get back to the sublist again to create a new list action. Let's choose the current object and choose delete item. All right, so rename this action to delete current item. Okay, we can choose confirm before execution. You can choose send some message here. Let's say sure. Confirm or cancel. All right. So that's it. Let's get back to select this button and bounding the action we just created, the current item. Right, so let's do a preview. So this time, if we add a new item, we can see the delete button at the top right. Yeah, we can add another one, and we can click delete. If choose OK, it will be deleted. All right. So yeah, you can actually add some others related content. For example, you can add some image or text. Let's say maybe add some text view. Let's say select text. Okay. You can plus some of the information. Let's try to say medium and show item and so on. Maybe you can have some dynamic content. Let's say maybe combine the item title and description, those information with pin text. All right, great. Yeah, so this is the one. And another case, maybe you can consider to use the dynamic content layouts for sublist is maybe for most case for the printing page. If you have some specific requirements for the layout of the printing, you can just using the dynamic content layouts to set a more print friendly layouts as needed. All right. Yeah, I think that's just a for today's session is just a brief introduction about let you know about the new feature of the dynamic content layouts in Sublist. If needed, you can give it a try and let us know about your feedback. Great. So with that, this is the content that I have for now for today. Thank you for joining us, and let's meet next time.